Lake Bunyonyi, preferred as the Jeoli of Kigezi, though the name is translated locally as little birds. It was named after the existence of many little birds on the lake, especially on the islands. Farms, but hardly realized that you are coming closer to its busy landing site. Lake Bunyonyi. Calm waters, no waves. If you are used to the many lakes where fishing is ideal, the only activity here is the tourist swimming and the sailing on canoe boats. The locals to and from the 29 islands and across the lake are either carrying food to Kabale or are returning home, and a passenger is charged 100 Uganda shillings. Innocent Kizito, our tour guide with Bunyonyi Overland, welcomes us. Kizito tells us the fares of sailing with different boats to the Punishment Island, our main purpose to the lake. He, however, offers to cruise with the WBS crew, explaining the essence of the islands. First we try out the canoe, but he warns it may take us 3 hours to return. There we opt for the boat engine. It's quick and very speed enough. It is 1 p.m. and we will need to approximately use 1.5 hours back to the shore. Innocent, especially, like, how many visitors do you receive for this venture?
For this venture, we basically receive quite a lot of number depending on the season. If it's a low season, roughly over 250 people. But high season, that is June, July, August, around over 1,000 people. So it depends, and every person wants to enjoy this. Whoever comes to visit Bunyonyi, he or she must go on this motorboat ride. So it's very interesting.
The communities around here cross this lake every morning, every evening, as you see them.
Yeah, basically that is part of them. They're born, they've grown from here, so they always cross with a canoe and the motorboat, because when they're going across to Kabale town, so that is the way. So you have to move and cross the water.
But what is the significance and the uniqueness of the lake? Punishment Island on Lake Bunyonyi, one of the 29 islands. But interestingly, this island was used as a punishment for pregnant girls who would get pregnant before marriage and would be brought on this island as a punishment to later starve and die. If you're left on this island with no food, I'm very sure you die in 3 days. Too much water surrounding it, but it's interesting. It looks like the water eats it every day, every other day. I think I need to come back here once again. It's an interesting part of Lake Bunyonyi, but also not. If you just heard the stories, this is the reality. They haunt everyone who visits, and if it is his or her first time to hear the story. Amidst the hills of Kigezi, the second deepest lake in Africa and third deepest in the world after Lake Bukora and Lake Tanganyika, lies 1,600 meters in the steep hills of Kabale. Drowning is not common, but sometimes does an attribute to spirits, culture, and influence of alcohol. Another interesting island, Dr. Sharp Island, named after Dr. Sharp, who came around this place around the 1940s, because he remained here because there had been an outbreak of elephantiasis on the island of Boama, and he decided to settle down here. But you see, it has been developed. You'll be looking at what his home looked like, and now it is now a very interesting island that also attracted us here on Lake Bunyonyi. We return. It is 3:16 p.m. after 1.5 hours plus offered to be served traditional made lunch of steamed Irish potatoes, a staple food in Kabale at Bunyonyi Overland. Since 1997, engineer Ivan Batuma, resident in Kabale, who has ventured on Lake Bunyonyi, gives us his definition of why Lake Bunyonyi is a big tourist destination.
The name Bunyonyi in our language means little birds.
Yeah, little birds, yes.
And what is the other most interesting part of this story about the lake?
Yeah, the lake has some historical background, cultural stories about the islands. There is this particular island which is called Punishment Island. In the local language it's called Akampene. They used to take their girls to punish them if they got pregnant before they are married. This was to instill morals into the the generation, so that it is bad to get pregnant or to have the real good morals. So that historical background of the small island, it is a very small island, as you maybe could have seen it. They would take the girl there and leave her there to starve and die, as to show other people that is not good, to preserve the culture of our society here.
What future does Lake Bunyonyi hold for this country, and in particular, tourism investment?
Definitely, this should be one of the destinations. Now, actually, Lake Bunyonyi now is like a stopover when they are going to certain destinations, like, as I told you, Bwindi and others. But as it is now, we need to market it much more, and especially through the Uganda Tourism Board, so that really, and also the facilities around other investors and ourselves to improve the services, so that people can come to Bunyonyi as a destination. He buys his ticket, he knows he's coming to Uganda to spend his holiday in Lake Bunyonyi for 4 days, 5 days, then he goes to other parks.
Sure, there is a business boost as the word, because it has every rich mogul grabbing either an island or a plot of land at the shore. But for sure, next time you're thinking of visiting Kigezi, you dare not make a stop at Lake Bunyonyi.